Welcome, brothers, sisters, siblings, fellow swords, comrades. Welcome back to Swordland, where we're not looking at the budget, um, because that makes me sad. It'll be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. Private party at the. No, I don't want to deal with Spider. No, I'm tired. Can we not? Status of immigration regulation. Sure. We were in the middle of a meeting in the palace about our immigration policy. The ensuing discussion quickly became heated. I don't think so, Mr. Vichy. It just doesn't make any sense to me that a foreign citizen should come before a Swordish citizen in Swordland. Well said, my analysis is also in line with this, especially during the economic recession. We are giving Swordish jobs to migrants from other countries. What about our own people? Immigrants are the reason our economy is not completely unsalvageable. I mean, I can go on and on about how it's been proven that immigration is a net gain to the economy. They usually contribute more in taxes than they spend on social services, yada yada yada. But uh, let's just go on with it. Look at Agnolian immigrants in Angland. They have revitalized the whole region and in turn boosted the economy of the entire country. Simon can attest to that. Statistically speaking, allowing immigrants to become part of the workforce contributes to our economy, but I agree that the current situation is very nuanced. With that said, we can't just tighten our immigration policy and expect the economy to stay the same. We need to put our economy and the recession at the forefront, especially in the wake of this insane fucking trade war between Arcasia and United Contana. Well, Simon, some heated, heated words. I've never seen Simon this rattled. Everyone in the room turned to him in surprise. I'm sorry for losing my cool, Mr. President. I have been working day and night. I'm currently attempting to minimize the damage this trade war will do to Sorland. Uh, don't, don't burn yourself out. I will do my best, but the future of Swordish citizens is at stake. Thankfully, we have just started receiving financial aid from Acacia. And then what? We become their servants? First, they will place their warplanes in Erlori, then their armies will come, you will see. I do not approve of this decision at all. Uh, don't be dramatic. We need to be friendly with our potential allies. Allies? Sorlin has no allies and never did. Well said, Mr. Lancia. We can't be naive. Gentlemen, can we please get back on topic? Right, sorry, Mr. Rishi. As I was just saying before I was interrupted, look at the superpowers. Do you see them closing off their borders? Why do you think their economies are in such good shape? They are in their current state because they welcome immigration and use it to their advantage. Yeah, we need to modernize and reach the level of the superpowers. I'm on the same mind. It is proven that immigration helps countries to develop, and we cannot just deport our current immigrants. We need a decision, but before we move on, Mr. President, do you have any questions about the current state of immigration? Yes, what's the current legal status of immigrants? Currently, all accepted immigrants are given a work permit on arrival so that they can work and contribute to the economy of Sorland. There is currently no limit on the number of immigrants accepted, however, the number has remained stable over the past years. Despite the laws, the fact is many immigrants illegally work for corporations. That is the main issue with immigration right now, not the immigration itself. Nonsense. If not for the unlimited amount of immigration, we wouldn't be in this state. How many immigrants live in Sorland? Official numbers show that we have anywhere between 2 to 3 million immigrants residing in Sorland. Even excluding the countless undocumented aliens, fuck you, Leleas, go fuck yourself. That is a very substantial amount. The primary issue is the strife they cause between less fortunate Swordfish citizens and themselves. The strife that the people in power caused to keep them divided so that they can stay on top. Including them in the workforce would benefit everybody, including unemployed swords. More taxes means more services. How do immigrants usually arrive? There are three major paths they choose. The first one is the Aglan to Agnolia border, the second is the Burgia to Velen border, and the third is the Laurent coast. Agnolians are the largest group. It's a light border over there, although recently political fugitives from Valsland have been crossing the Grey Sea by boat to land on our coast. Politically persecuted Vezek refugees tend to use the dangerous mountain passes at the Velen border. Many of them also have bloodish blood. This is significantly increasing the blood populace inside Burgia. Okay, let's move on and see what can be done about the immigration situation. Very well. David Vichy opened his dossier stamped with the seal of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade. Before we make any decision, I have to remind you, during the elections we promised to keep our immigration laws relaxed, which I think is the right course of action. I disagree. We are supposed to control and reduce the negative effects of immigration like crime and subversion. I see your point, Joseph, but the economy certainly benefits from more immigration. Internal order, on the other hand, suffers immensely. We should tighten the laws to prevent further chaos. No, we're gonna stick with our campaign promises. David sighed wearily. This is going nowhere. I'm ready to make a decision. Yes? Everyone leaned forward, eager to hear my response. We will keep immigration laws relaxed. I'm glad you made the right choice. We will be forced to handle new waves of migrants from Magnolia. Our border posts aren't ready. I just gave you all a shit ton more money, so get ready. Not only that, we've just abandoned the native swords who need our support the most. Also, this will bring a new tide of refugees from Velen. Burgia is already a difficult region to manage. This is shameful. Fuck you. The citizens of Sorland aren't forgotten. Our work for them continues. And now they will compete with foreign immigrants just to put food on their tables. I'm disappointed in you, Rain. Put the fuck down, Lancia. Anything else, Mr. President? Thank you for your contributions. Let's wrap this up. Yeah, that's probably the best way to end this. Ministers gathered their documents and rose from their chairs, some with frowns on their faces. I'm looking forward to the upcoming trade talks. Peter and I have been visiting Stalport and Vraklavitz in preparation. I'll be coming along to talk with the economy minister, looking forward to the potential partnership. If you are finished, I need to head off and get the ministry to work on the new policy. Same here, our border units need to be informed and prepared. Of what? We're not changing the... Of what? That we're not changing the laws? Yes, Yeah, keep up the good work. Let's be positive. Ministers dispersed. The economic recovery proposal. Report from the Ministry of Justice. And... Okay, well, let's read everything else. Lawful Rikia blockade. Valen condemns occasion financial aid. Valen can condemn my ass, for all it's worth. Volzon warns against Sorge's privatization. What privatization? There is no privatization. Ato advocates for resolution amid tensions in Gulf of Rika. Golconda's stride against Swordland. Chancellor Enos Dreamer emphasizes neutrality. Sure. Okay, let's babysit Peter. Far from becoming accustomed to my workload as president, I only felt more and more snowed under as the weeks passed. It has been ages since I had any time to myself. I was starting to lose my focus and my temper was going crystalline thin. Peter was the first to realize I needed a break. After much cajoling, he finally persuaded me to come to a meeting of his new venture, Gentlemen's Club. For the past few months, he'd been hosting a salon of sorts, not just for politicians and businessmen, but also for artists, entertainers, people of taste, he told me with a smile on his face. There was only one rule: no wives or girlfriends allowed, hence the name. And so I found myself in front of his new luxury villa in Erlory. Very loud jazz music emanated from inside. I waited and waited. Finally, Peter opened the door. I could smell the whiskey on his breath. Anton, finally. Now the real party can start. Come on in. As soon as I entered, Peter closed the door and turned to the small crowd. Gentlemen, a minute of your time, please. I now have the privilege to present to you the man himself, 4th President of Sordland, Mr. Anton Rain. I'd known him for long enough to understand that he was more than a little drunk. He made an elaborate mock curtsy as I passed him and walked into the room. The music stopped and I felt everyone's eyes on me. I mean, I'm sure he's not the first. Yeah, thank you, Peter. What's next? A choir? Marching band? No, I'm saving those for your funeral. Peter laughed very hard at his own grim joke before continuing. Dear members, please give a warm welcome to this very special guest. If I may, Anton, here, take this. He handed me a glass of whiskey and put his hand on my shoulder. We all know why we're gathered here tonight: to celebrate life, to have a brief escape from our tumultuous professions. I personally don't know any better cure for stress than a little drink. Only a little one? Yeah, my patience for Peter in this playthrough is 0. A few people in the crowd chuckled and some raised their glasses. Now the tradition dictates that as the club president I have to remind you of our house rules. There are 3: no politics, no wives, no one sober. Cheers. Peter drank the whiskey in his glass in one go. Let's not indulge ourselves too much. Anton Rain might have the power to make presidential decrees, but I, Peter Vector, the president of this club, now declare this party started. Music, go! The band started up again. After greeting the crowd around me, I felt a hand on my shoulder. Let me show you around. We walked through the corridors of his mansion. Statues and paintings lined the stark white walls. An arched window provided a view of the neatly manicured grounds, complete with a swimming pool. Yeah, really living the life there, Peter. A grand Lesbian marble staircase led up to the 2nd story. Peter gestured at the massive crystal chandelier hanging overhead. That chandelier was made in the 18th century. Can you believe it? There's even a hedge maze in the garden. How are you paying for all of this? I'll let you on a secret. Gus Manger has a lot of contacts in real estate. He brokered an amazing price for me. He'll also be here tonight, by the way. And what did you promise him, Indu? No. Living in a lavish mansion while my country suffers is not for me. I understand completely. That's why I've donated 30% of my vice presidential salary to charities. Really? That's what it says on my tax forms, at least. Fucking asshole. Seriously, I'm gonna kill Peter. We continue walking until we circle back to where we had started. So what do you think of my little hideaway? Frankly, I find it disgusting. Jealous, are we? Like I said, you could have just a palace just like this. Anyway, let's get back to the party. I arranged for some caviar to be brought in from Lesbia. You're gonna love it. Again, disgusting. He opened the door to the main hall and we joined the other guests. The music was louder now and the mood decidedly more inebriated. Cocktail waitresses were carrying around plates of canapes, wearing dresses that left little to the imagination. So this is what you've been hiding from Evelyn. No one is hiding anything. She knows how important it is for men like us to blow off steam once in a while. He averted his gaze for a second before calling over one of the waitresses. She was in her mid-20s, wearing red lipstick, her blonde hair neatly tied into a ponytail. On her plate were toast points slathered in the lesbian caviar Peter had mentioned. I took a bite. It was rich, salty, tasting of pure seaside. I could almost hear the sound of waves and seagulls. Lesbian caviar, best in the world, I'm telling you. Anton, there are few pleasures in life that are this. As the waitress left us to serve another attendee, she flashed a quick smile at Peter over her shoulder. He smiled back a little too broadly. Sensual. Fuck sake. Fucking asshole. Seriously, after playing this game once, I have zero patience for Peter. Absolutely zero. His eyes were still fixed on her, with an expression I remembered from our many nights out together as students. Oh look, there's Gus. Why don't you go talk to him? I'll be back in a minute. Of course you will. Peter, I'm warning you, don't make a mistake. Mistake? What are you talking about? I'm just going to the washroom. See you shortly. Fucking cunt. He left the room and I headed over to Gus. Gus Manger was standing next to a couple of men that I recognized as banking industry magnates. As I approached, all of them turned to me and bowed their heads. Mr. President, a toast to our new member, everyone. Gus and I clinked our glasses as the people around us raised theirs. You don't seem at all surprised to see me here. That's because Peter told me you were going to come. He also told me that you might be interested in potential opportunities such as, well, this. He opened his arms, gesturing to our opulent surroundings. Let's take a walk. The balcony has an amazing view of Elroy. We left the room and made our way to the balcony. On the way, he took out 2 cigars and held one out for me. Sure, let's take the cigar, why the fuck not? Took the cigar and started smoking it. Mixed with the taste of whiskey, it was delicious. We went out to the balcony, and all of Ellery was on our feet. From this vantage point, I was able to see how expensive the building plot was. The swimming pool and the hedge maze were visible from here. Leaning over the railing, I admired the view for a moment before Gus spoke up. I know you're wondering about the deal Peter made. In a nutshell, thanks to my network, he was able to procure this house for half the asking price, which wouldn't be possible under any other circumstances. You're wrong, I wasn't wondering. Very well then. He downed his whiskey. If you'll excuse me now, I'll go refresh my drink. See you around. He left to rejoin the party. Alone in the balcony, I looked out over Elroy. Suddenly I heard a rustling from the hedge maze below. I looked down and saw a silhouette, 2 silhouettes actually. So close together they seemed to be entangled. I squinted and tried to get a better look. It was definitely 2 people kissing, but I couldn't see either of their faces. I returned to the party and spent some time mingling with the other guests, engaging them in small talk about their business, their children, their relationships. I realized it had been a while since Peter left. I looked around but couldn't find him. Instead, my eyes landed on Ewald Alfonso. With a smile, the former president walked over to meet me. Isn't a party like this a little low class for a man like you? The surroundings are a little tacky, I admit, but Gus convinced me the networking opportunities would be unparalleled. I saw you speaking to Mr. Manger earlier. Just briefly, I wasn't interested in what he was offering. Interesting. I would have thought you'd be interested in other opportunities after investing in Gazom. We're seeing growing interest from international investors, by the way. I'm optimistic about the result of Sorlin's investment. Good, I'm kind of depending on it. I'm glad that Sorlin could help your company thrive. And vice versa. Just then, Pirate came up from behind us and threw an arm around each of our shoulders. Look what you do, Sordland's bright future and its ancient, ancient past. Uh, Better behave yourself. Yes, Mr. President, right away, Mr. President. Well, Mr. Alfonso, have you been enjoying my hospitality? Alfonso smiled politely. Indeed I have, Mr. Vector, and you've put together one hell of a gathering. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to have a quick word with the CEO of Swordish Petroleum. Had fun mingling, it was good to see you. Alfonso gave a brusque wave and walked off. Peter shifted his weight unsteadily. Nice guy. Shitty president, nice guy. I'll give you one more chance, where were you? Peter assumed a patient look. Well, Mr. President, when too much shortlist whiskey meets too much lesbian caviar, I can lead to a gastrointestinal imbroglio, the likes of which the world has never seen. I'll be direct. Were you with the waitress? Wait, no, no. How could you even think that? I'm a married man. Peter, you can tell me anything. I thought I saw his Schilferl expression slip for a moment. Yeah, I know. Trust me, it's nothing. That's the thing. I know it's not nothing, you fucking cunt. Now who wants a drink? Besides me, of course. He poured us 2 large glasses of whiskey, and we drank them in one go. Throughout the party, we drank and drank just like old times. I woke up the next day with a pounding headache and more than a few regrets. My recollections of the evening were hazy, but there was one important detail that kept coming back to me. The red lipstick on Peter's collar. Yes, that. But maybe my memory was playing tricks on me. Yeah, sure, of course. BFF and Bloodish Education in Bergia. HSU fire investigation suspended. Old sword post connection to young swords. Okay, for more cheerful things, let's go to the Benfi Festival. Our motorcade slowly made its way towards the magnificent Benfi High Arts Center. Night was falling and the festival was about to begin. I flipped through the brochure that had been given to us at the hotel. Monica's face was featured on the front page, but the schedule on the inside still said that Curtin Leste, mayor of Anrica, would be making the opening remarks. My last-minute announcement that my wife would be replacing Curtin must have caused some confusion at the print shop. The Benfi Festival was one of the biggest events of the year. It originally marked the start of the annual religious pilgrimage, a weeks-long journey still undertaken by devout Neurists. But today, it was better known as a cultural celebration that drew thousands of revelers to the city. There were film screenings, concerts, theater and dance performances, art exhibition, and celebrity-studded night galas. The opening ceremonies were broadcast on TV and watched by millions. As the car slowed, a coterie of reporters and security guards rushed to meet us. I turned my attention to Monica. She nervously eyed the waiting crowd. Don't worry, you're going to be fine. No, let's just hold her hand. Took her hand in mine and gave it a firm squeeze. She smiled and turned her head to look out the window once again. As soon as Serge opened the door, we were enveloped by the roar of the crowd. The next few minutes were a blur of handshakes, photos, and reporters' questions. The onlookers cheered as we walked the red carpet to the newly built arts center. We followed the guards through the cavernous white halls until we came to a set of arched doors leading to the auditorium. We waited outside as security did a quick sweep of the area, then headed in. So this is it. I will finally stand on the same platform as you. A platform where Sutherland's women will have their voices heard and acknowledged for the first time. Break a leg. The two of us proceeded to the podium. I spoke first, delivering a short paragraph about the importance of Banfi and the Festival of Sutherland. I then introduced Monica. Thunderous applause echoed around the auditorium as she stepped to the microphone. I exited the stage and found my seat, right next to Cortan Leste. Ladies and gentlemen, as the First Lady of Sorland, I welcome all of you to the Benfi Festival. The crowd erupted again, clapping and cheering. Curtin Leste leaned over and hissed into my ear. Mr. President, I am afraid you have made a great mistake. There will be consequences. Yeah, of course there will. Oh my god. I just noticed. Don't say anything. It might go down again. Just be chill. Don't scare it. It's okay. Don't say anything. Don't scare the line. The line might go down. Mr. President, I'm afraid you have made a great mistake. There will be consequences. Just ignore him. I did not pay any attention to Carton and simply pretended to not hear him. Your little stunt has lost you my support in the assembly. I kept my eyes on the stage where the applause subsided. Monica resumed her speech. This festival holds a very important place in all of our hearts. It is a celebration of art, music, theater, but above all, it is a celebration of the people of Benethy, of their free and open-minded spirit. As we all unite for the festivities, we must not forget the values that have inspired them. Today marks the beginning of the Week of the Spirit, a time for vitality, growth, and new beginnings. The crowd was hanging on her every word, but the mayor of Anrica and his entourage didn't seem as impressed. I stand on this podium today to speak about change, about a new beginning for our society. Sorland calls itself a free country, yet half of its citizens are still barred from enjoying the same freedoms that the other half takes for granted. I refer to myself and my fellow women. A rumble went through the crowds, scattered applauses mixed with murmurs of discontent. To truly move forward, we must make a break from old traditions and strive towards equality for all. Equal rights, equal pay, equal access to education. Enough. Sit the fuck down, you bastard. The entire hall fell silent. The mayor of Anrica rose and spoke. I will not let this woman besmirch the traditions upon our great country was built. Curtin, get back in your goddamn seat. No, Anton, I can no longer sit idly by. We are past that point. Curtin turned towards the audience, speaking loudly enough to be heard without a microphone. Mrs. Rain, what right do you possibly have to pass judgment on our values as Sordish citizens? You are not a politician, you are not a speaker, you are merely a woman who is lucky enough to be married to the president. Your place is not at this podium, it is at home tending to your husband and children. Go suck a big fat one. The crowd was growing rowdier. Some booed and jeered at Cortan's words, others whooped in approval. Monica froze completely. The audience grew louder. I had to do something. I walked up to the stage and stood beside my wife at the podium. The mayor was still standing defiantly in the front row. Yeah, Mr. Leste, do I have to teach you basic manners? Have you forgotten what you learned in kindergarten? The crowd erupted in laughter. Curtin's face turned red. I will not stand idly by as our Sordish values are being tested, especially by our very own president and his harlot of a wife. I want to punch you. Is rudeness a Sordish value now? It's impropriety? I'm only doing what I feel is right to protect my country. And you feel it's right to berate a woman, the president's wife at that. Her ideas are dangerous, Anton. They'll lead us down a dark path. Your ideas, on the other hand, will lead us back to the Dark Ages. Without our traditions, we are lost. And without change, we are fossils. Now, please sit down. The crowd was booing Cortan loudly now. He looked around the room and let out a deep sigh. My apologies, Mr. President, Mrs. First Lady. I crossed the line. Monica had regained her composure by now. She took her place at the microphone. My heartfelt apologies to you as well, Mr. Leste. I assure you my intention was not to offend anyone. especially a senior member of the Assembly such as yourself who has pledged his life to the betterment of our country. Curtin smiled faintly. Monica turned to the audience. I hope one day we shall all be able to set aside our differences as we have done today, and walk towards a happier, brighter future for all of Sorlin's citizens, male and female alike. We must all remember the future cannot exist without the past. And I believe we're witnessing the meeting of our glorious past and our bright future right here in Benfi today. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to officially open the Benfi Festival. I'm Morgana Westcore. Vector and Sizda. Everyone in the hall, including Kurtan, finished the decades-old saying. The crowd erupted in cheers, even Kurtan started clapping. People started chanting Monica's name, and the band broke into the official festival anthem. The opening event was finally finished. But I knew Kurtan would never forget what happened today. Well, it'd be hard, because he got fucking humiliated. Refugees. Governor Bergier reports hundreds of BFF collaborators, protests, and looting. Not good. But look! Look! Don't scare it, or it will go away. But yeah, that is going to be it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. As always, I have been Pope. Please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you all next time.